Hey guys, and welcome back to video 2 of our 6th video Idioms in English series. Alright, so in the last video, part 1, you learned 5 common idioms in English. And in this video, you're going to learn 5 more common idioms in English and when to use it. Okay, I'm trying to break it up in chunks for you so that it's a little bit easier to remember that way. Alright, so take a look. So the first example that we have on our list today is the best of both worlds. Okay, now the best of both worlds means to have two things, okay, to have one thing over here and another thing over here that aren't very common when they're together. So, for example, you could say something like, I'm having a hard time trying to decide where to live because I like the mountains and I also like the beach. So I want to have the best of both worlds. I want to live in a place where there are mountains and also the beach. Okay? I want to have the best of both worlds. Alright, our next idiom in English is actions speak louder than words. Alright, what does this mean? It's pretty self-explanatory, but what it basically means is that you can say something, but it's much more powerful when you do it. Okay? You can say, I'm sorry to someone, but it's more powerful if you show that you mean you're sorry to that person. Okay? You can say that I'm not going to do this. You can say I'm going to quit smoking, or I'm going to quit drinking, or any bad habit. But it's obviously going to mean a lot more once you actually do it. Okay? So that's actions speak louder than words. So idiom number 3 is beat around the bush. Okay, beat around the bush is an expression that you use when you ask somebody a question and they don't answer you directly. Okay, you ask them a question that only requires a yes or no answer, but instead of that person giving you a simple yes or no answer, they talk around the subject and they just try to confuse you a little bit. Okay, so a really good example for beat around the bush would be during election time, which is what we have here in the United States right now. And, you know, what most people don't like about politicians is that politicians tend to beat around the bush instead of answering the questions directly. You'll oftentimes see in a lot of political videos, a lot of debates, where a moderator will ask a politician a question, and the politician, instead of saying, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that, they talk around the subject for about 5 minutes or 10 minutes instead of giving a direct answer. Okay, so you can say next time that somebody does that to you, just give me a yes or no answer. Don't beat around the bush. Idiom number 4 for this video is blessing in disguise. Blessing in disguise means that when something happens to you, at first you think it's a bad thing, but then it turns out to be a good thing. Okay, so a good example for something like this could be, he was devastated when he lost his job, but he started his own business and it actually turned out to be a blessing in disguise. Okay, losing his job turned out to be a blessing in disguise. He thought it was bad at first, but then it turned into something good because it gave him the opportunity to start his own business. Alright, so that's blessing in disguise. Our last idiom for this video, idiom number 5, is one of my personal favorites, and it's called, you can't judge a book by its cover. Alright, so what does this mean? This means that you cannot judge people or things by their outer appearance. Okay, you can't judge them necessarily by their race. You can't judge them necessarily by the way they dress, or by what kind of car they drive, or by their religion, or by how much money they have. Okay, we use all of these things subconsciously to judge people and to categorize them in our mind. And what this expression is saying is that you can't do that because you're not always going to be right if you do that. So for example, you could say something like, he is driving the oldest car in town and he wears old clothes and he lives in a very small house, but it turns out that he is one of the richest men in town. Okay, then somebody could reply, yeah, you really can't judge a book by its cover. Okay, okay, because he looked like he was poor from the outside, but it turns out that he was actually very wealthy. Okay, so you can't judge a book by its cover. All right, so I hope this lesson was helpful to you today. If it was, and you are watching this video on YouTube, then feel free to subscribe below, okay? And also feel free to share the video so that everybody can learn. That's what we're here for, to help each other learn, guys. All right, but if you are watching this on the website, RAMIREZEnglish.com, as part of the course, then go ahead and keep rolling for the next 4 more videos. All right, take care.